Hello, I'm Ben Berry,
And I'm Councillor Matt Brayton.
and we're here at Ferry Nab in Windermere looking at the defunct ferry behind us, which has been closed following an accident with a fire on board. Matt, what effect has this closure had on the communities that you represent?
Well, I represent pretty much the whole western side of Windermere, Ben, and the people in Hawkshead and far and near Surrey are particularly frustrated. There's been a real lack of information about when the ferry is going to be reinstated. There's been a huge knock-on effect for local people in terms of the business lost. People who commute using the ferry every day are having to drive miles and miles out of their usual route, and it's causing a huge congestion on the roads. It's frustrating, it's not good enough, and the council hasn't even got round to putting out adequate diversion signs and advertising the fact that the ferry is closed and that there are alternative routes to reach Hawkshead and Far Surrey. It's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. And I think it's clear that the Liberal Democrat and Labour administration of the county council really don't care about the ferry. I mean, we saw that with the ferry ticket machines that we both campaigned against, and it wasn't just that, but we almost got elected to represent our communities because of that mismanagement. And now we're seeing it once again with how they're essentially just mothballing this ferry rather than getting it fixed quickly and diligently. And we need this ferry back. I mean, we should have had it back weeks ago, but we need it before the summer holidays, at least before the 20th of July, and that's what we're calling on the county council to do. But they refuse to even just give us a timetable of when they think it will come back into use, which just isn't good enough.
Quite right. It's extremely frustrating. As I say, we saw over the last 2 or 3 years, as you quite rightly point out, with the highly unsatisfactory arrangement with the ticket machines the Lib Dems brought in. We finally secured a long and hard-fought victory in getting those ticket machines removed, and no sooner had that new system been in place than we now see the situation behind us again. The ferry's out of action. People saw in real terms how hard it hit their businesses in the last couple of years. This is even worse than that situation.
No doubt.
There, people are effectively looking at losing takings, and ironically it's been one of the best periods of weather that anyone can remember, and people can quite easily be forgiven for coming to Bowness, coming to Windermere, and then just turning around and going home once they see that the ferry is closed, because there are literally no signs anywhere. So as Ben says, we need to see, we've asked the council and senior officers of the council to put in an adequate diversion scheme in place, yellow signs at the Plumgarth roundabout, at Newby Bridge, so that people know there are alternative ways of reaching Hawkshead and Hilltop and visiting all the visitor attractions they want to do and see. It's not good enough to just expect them to rely on the very limited information that's been out in the local press recently. So we really need to see action. We need signs in place. We need some information campaign from the council, including getting the ferry staff here to hand out leaflets saying that businesses are open as usual. We do have some limited foot and cycle traffic across, but it's really not good enough. As you said, Ben, there are 800 cars a day potentially that are having to go all around the top end of the lake, adding to already congested roads at this time of year. The situation is only going to get worse in the summer. We need an adequate timetable of when the ferry is going to be back in place, and if the ferry is going to be out of action for another week, 2 weeks, or even longer. We need to know that, and we need to know what the council is going to do to mitigate that, because up to now it has been yet another absolute fiasco.
That's it. So if you agree with us that we need this ferry back as soon as possible, that we need those mitigation steps in place that Matt's outlined, please do like and share this video and let us know your thoughts below. Thank you.
Thank you.